we are going to talk about how do we design, develop the project for the submission of this kind of competitions. So, in this, regarding this project, we received a brief where it was required to develop a church for spirituality, and this was being the competition was held for by YAC and the Soul Foundation, and the idea was to develop a church related to spirituality for Catholic architecture. We are going to talk about this church which we designed for Moramanga. It was a small space, small place in Senegal, and that church was for the humanity, for the God, and for the humans who are troubled by their problems. It was for the communities, the local communities of Moramanga, which helped us to identify their problems, understand their culture, and explore a bit about their ideas of life, how they survive in different conditions. And that was very interesting for us when we started planning the church and planning the space. We understood the various culture and various economical data which came out in front of us when we started researching over only the land was available and the funds were rare, and in that sense the budget was tight. With that, the requirement was also for the community space where community activities may happen. There could be space for the office of father and the segregation, the space where prayers may happen. So regarding that, this very interesting site was given, and it was just near the road to the main area. And while observing the design, while observing the land, we observed that this road is directly connected from north to south of Senegal, and this was one of the main highlights where we thought that if we want to highlight this church and we want to spread the visuals of this design or this architecture, we want it to be just visible from the road, and that became our main point, main agenda. So whenever you are passing through that road, the church should be visible. That was one of the key hints which we got for while designing the project. And with that, we started looking for the options, how we can develop. It could be a rectangular form with one area as a parking, the other area could be the community space. So the whole rectangle can be divided into different activities. And but in this case, what we did was we wanted to design something unique, and that relates to the local people of Senegal. And regarding that, we started with experimenting with the concrete. And this church, we thought, why don't we add a color, and that becomes part of the landscape, which is kind of dry. To merge with the landscape, we added a hint of pink color, so it becomes part of the soil and becomes part of the landscape. Only the cross, which is visible at the top, could be visible from the road or from the outside area, and that become the material of the project. That way, it gives us a very interesting hint how we can achieve that form with the concrete which we are talking about. We could also experiment with the form. So in that case, we started with the experimenting with the planning. So in plan, if you see, we have divided the same location. We have not excavated the land considering the cost or the weather because of the rainy season, the heavy rains which may happen. In that case, we kept the same space and raised one part of the build form so that we get another space below it, so that community space can fit inside that volume which we have created. And from the other side, from the prayer side, where the prayer may happen, we have created steps so that people can come, they can sit, they can pause and pray. And that was the overall planning idea for the designing. In addition to that, when you enter the compound, you don't see the entry directly. Instead, we have kept it at the other side of the plan so that it creates a feel of finding something extraordinary. You will be able to see from where you have to enter, but it gives you a feel of achieving something when you are just entering, and that became a nice planning idea. When you enter, there is altar over the left hand side, and right hand side you can sit. There are steps, you can go up. Those are steps and seating kind of auditorium. So it doesn't need special benches where you have to sit and pray. In addition to that, regarding light, which is the most key factor of architecture, we created a slit in the top so that light, whenever the sun is moving, when the sun is passing through and the light is coming from that slit, it gives a nice, neat effect, kind of the feel that the god is giving you some hint. You can feel light coming through that slit and you can feel the god is looking at you. In addition to that, these jali, which is there just behind the altar, it's there to create ventilation and light again, so that least electrical supply, electrical consumption is required. In addition to that, at evenings, your church will be visible. So even that slit which is there in the top will emit light, and the neighboring villages can see the church standing at that place. The church we designed was inspired from Isalo National Park, which had these hills and stone structure. So the form came out from that stony structure, making it part of the landscape, and that was the overall idea for the form development. So that pink colored concrete which we used for the build form, it integrates with the landscape, and that's how the overall church design was conceptualized and planned. We do a lot of architectural competitions as a practice because I feel we learn a lot through these challenges which we face. We have done this school in Nepal which taught us regarding the planning and how smart grid planning can happen and how weather can change or can give you different options when you are designing a space. And similarly, there was this interesting Moramanga church which we are going to talk about today, which taught us a lot about how simpler forms of architecture can solve different problems of humans. Like here, the requirement was same, but the design options were different. Every contender was of different design inspiration, design style, or the planning. But the winning entry was very simple. It was made of thatch and local earth, and it was made in a rectangle plan with the lighting, with a double roof. So the light and ventilation was one of the major part without over designing the space. And that was the major part where we like competing in architecture. Unfortunately, we were unable to be in the top list, but I hope in the next coming up architectural projects we'll be doing something great. With each and every project which we are doing for architecture, we are learning and we are doing something interesting for humanity, helping develop some ideas for the spaces and learning from different competitors who are excelling in designing these spaces, whether it was done in earth-based structure or whether done in modern contemporary style or post-modern style. So all and each entries were very interesting and we learned a lot through the options of solving the same problem in different manner. And I'm putting a link of the competition site where all the winners, the ideas, the sheets of each and every winner is showcased. You can go to it. I'll be talking about more of our architectural projects in the next coming of video. Please do subscribe if you have not subscribed to Ogling Inches, because we are helping winners build a legacy. See you in the next video. Thank you.